Welcome everyone and welcome back to The Coach Approach. It's your coach Blake of the Black Baker, and today we're going to be going over Best Champions to Main patch 11.1. So, 3 best champions to main for each role. Do you guys think that there are only, what's 3 times 5? 15. Yeah, Clash, you got it right. 15 good champions, 15 main champions. I don't know. If you guys would like to see more of this Is It Clickbait series, make sure you leave a thumbs up. Let me know what you guys think, because I like doing them, and I want you guys to make sure that you guys are giving the information that's the most accurate, right? So if you guys have any videos that you guys think, well, I'm not sure if this is right, I watched this and it just didn't seem right, or I did this and it's not working, it could probably just be the thing that you're getting. When I was trying to learn, when I was getting better at League, every single information I took as fact. When I got better and I seen the same thing again, after I got better, it's like, what in the world? That's wholly incorrect. You know what I mean? So it could just be the fact that the information you're getting is holding you back, not the fact that you can't reach the pinnacle of success like everybody else can. So if you ever have any videos like that, let me know in the comments below. Leave the link in the comments, or just DM me on Discord. If you guys haven't joined my Discord, please feel free to do so. Otherwise, let's get into the video. Why do I keep doing, what is this? I'm sorry.
My name is Get Nerfed in the meta on patch 11.1. These champions are all about high performance, and low ban rates are unlikely to get nerfed in the immediate future, and the most reliable picks in the game that are most worthy invested time in.
Most worthy picks that are best to invest time in, reliable champions, low ban rates, and not really likely to get nerfed in the future. That's very hard to say. You can't really predict nerfs or bans. It's really just depending on how the champion performs. But if the champion is not getting nerfed, that means that the champion is not performing at its peak, which then counteracts this video. If it's the best champions, shouldn't it be getting nerfed soon? I don't know. I don't know.
My name is Nathan Ng, and now without further ado, let's get started. Starting things off in the top lane, we'll be going off with Wukong.
All right, those 2 champions are definitely getting nerfed. I don't know when, but they are. Shin's busted and so is Wukong, so it's happening. Those are definitely not champions that are low ban rate. People ban Wukong and Shin. I personally ban Shin. Shin's broken as fuck. Ooh, I did not mean to curse. I'm sorry, we're going to be cursing a lot more through this video. No, let me... I'm trying to curb my cursing, at least for this. When I'm streaming, y'all better watch out. Don't have me on loud. That's all I'm going to say. Okay, let's go. My bad. I'm sorry. Shh.
With the second armor it gives, his passive makes him a direct counter to AD bruisers that you generally run into the top lane, as long as you take extended trades against them. Q serves as the core of your kit, where your pole kind of extends, your staff gets bigger. Size does matter, empowering your autos threefold, giving it bonus damage, increased range, and an armor shred. Since its cooldown goes down the more you auto, it also suits an extended trading pattern, much like your passive.
Remember what I said about videos that have no names in them? This could be a low elo game. Did you see that Vi miss? What? He popped out too and she missed. I don't think that's anywhere above like platinum. So be cautious. These are supposed to make the champion look good. And it's kind of not serving the purpose, because obviously you guys are aiming to get to high elo. And if you guys don't see the results, especially if you're already a high elo player watching this could be why. So
once you max it out, the bonus range is long enough that you'll actually have a semi-range poke against other melee champions. Real quick, one thing I want you guys to know is that if you want to start the season off strong, we're actually giving you guys a 20% discount on our annual Pro Guide subscription from the 8th to the 14th. You can use the link in the description down below and check it out.
Keep plugging in my video.
Now, more about the Monkey Man. W is where your outplay potential lies. You can press S to stand still and fake it, or actually use it and change the direction that you're walking in just to check out your enemies. But it's not just used for running away from the bad guys. It can also serve as an extra gap closer, with the stealth and mini dash helping you get the E range and jump on the enemy backline if they aren't paying attention. E's main function is to go in for trades and start up team fights, but that bonus attack speed also plays into the extended trades that we talked about before, since more attacks means shorter Q cooldown. Your ultimate gives you insane team fighting presence, and since it's both a large amount of flat damage and some damage based on your enemy's max HP, it can shred through just about any champion in that area. As a quick tip, try to position a bit away from your clone in team fights so your ultimate doesn't overlap, giving you the biggest area of effect possible. Like I said, Wukong's ult can give you insane teamfighting presence. That brings us to today's question of the day. What ult do you find is the most satisfying? While huge AoE ults form champions like Wukong and Malphite can be part of some huge wombo combos, I honestly love Jin's ultimate.
Okay, I'm gonna fast forward a couple of this because I don't want to waste you guys' time. We're just here for the information.
He's still one that you pick if you prefer to beat down your opponents by forcing trades hard. In fact, he has more of a feel of a split-pushing duelist more than the feeling of his CC-heavy, engage-focused tank peers. Shen's Q gives him strong trading, allowing him to shred through squishies and tankier targets alike. But to really get the most out of it, make sure you're dragging the sword through your target for the slow, bonus damage, and bonus attack speed that it grants. This is super easy to accomplish if you use E to dash through your opponent and immediately use Q to call the sword to you, as your opponent is unable to dodge. But Shen's not just a great duelist because of his Q's damage. Between his passive shield and W ability to block autos, you should basically never lose a fight when you're taking it on your terms. Just remember, the W zone is around Shen's sword, not Shen himself, so you'll have to make sure that you're fighting near it. E's taunt may provide some CC, but with its short range, it's more of a trading tool than a way to engage team fights. If you're looking to fight a 5v5, you need to ult on a teammate that's already on an enemy champion, putting you in range to hit your taunt and lock them down for a kill. Speaking of your ultimate, that's really what pushes Shen over the line between good and really strong in solo queue. In the early game, it can really easily turn a fight around the bot lane, and its fights are always going to be in the bot lane. And since you use your ultimate, not your TP to join fight, you can recall, buy items, and use your summoner to get back to lane without missing out on too much farm. As the game goes on, you're able to split push, pressure side lanes, and even threaten inhibitors, and anytime somebody comes to match you, your team can force a fight, with their ultimate letting you to join in on the action, leading them on an easy 5v4 situation. To finish things off in the top lane, we have
Shen is definitely getting nerfed. Just thought I should say that. I don't see that. That champ is way too damn strong.
Ion. His massive health pool makes him an incredibly beefy target to shred through, but with this build, he also does a ridiculous amount of damage. Your Q gives strong control over the lane as it lets you shove waves when you want, and can serve as a zoning tool against your enemy. If they even think about walking up to the wave to match your shove, and E into a charge Q can let you deal a huge chunk of damage that your opponent will be helpless to escape. Q can also be used to cheese from inside a bush. Simply back up like you're gonna recall to the tower, but loop around and enter the bush where the minion waves are crashing. When your opponent steps up confident that they can farm since they think that you're at base, line up a Q and charge it fully. W shield also helps to shrug off any laner's return damage in trades, but what really makes ability so strong is its passive. All that HP it gives you is what makes you such a huge behemoth to bring down, even when building damage. Even if your opponent is sitting back at range, using the E on a minion will give you a little bit of poke, but the main use of it will be for tagging your opponents with a slow and armor shred to make your follow-up Q easier and safer to land and deal more damage. Once you're 6, your ultimate will give you a way to force a fight hard, but it can be
Wait, what was that hitbox? Look at the Q Scion on the hitbox right there on Ari. Alright, what? She's not even in the damn thing. Right, no way, bro. What is that? Oh my god.
Way to force a fight hard, but it can be somewhat easy to dodge at close range. So instead of using it in your own lane, the best option is to go back, walk towards bot lane, and then use it when the enemy bot lane overextends. If you coordinate this with the team and they're able to lock down the enemy bot lane, this should pretty much always result in free kills and a dragon for your team. Outside of the laning phase, you can use your ultimate to engage fights, but you'll be looking to fight in the middle of the lanes or the rivers since it will be hard to stay your ultimate in the wall-filled jungle.
Alright, so as I said before, Wukong and Shen are definitely going to get nerfs. They're really strong for no damn reason. I definitely see the nerfs happening. If not next patch after that. Or they're going to bring other things up to their standards. But those two champions are insane. Sion's the only pick where it's like he's not really picked or banned, and he's not broken. Like he does what he has to do. I think he is a good champion. I've always said that. Even a long time ago, I was like, Sion's just a good champion. Nobody just plays him. I've always said that in my streams. So I do agree with what they said. I just disagree with how misleading the title is, considering it's 3 best champions in main for every role. Those two are top tier. Wukong and Shen are top tier. So it doesn't make sense why you would say the best champions. If they're top tier, they're most likely picked or banned. And they're most likely going to be looking to get nerfed if they're top tier, usually. So I don't really like that. But aside from that, I mean, those are some pretty good champs to pick. I mean, no arguments there.
Speaking of jungle, we're going to be going into the jungle. And our first pick is Poppy. You'll be running all damage in your runes, but pretty much building full tank. In case you haven't noticed the trend, tanks that deal a ton of damage are pretty OP. Poppy's passive shield may seem small.
He just said it himself. Tanks that deal damage is OP. That's going to get nerfed if it's OP, right? See how like that's why some of these videos are very contradictive. They like do themselves in. They'll title it or they'll say something in the beginning, and then within the video, it just like counteract with what they said in the beginning or what they have in the title. So.
But over the course of a full jungle clear, it actually helps prevent quite a little bit of damage, leaving you with plenty of HP for ganking. Her Q also gives you really strong clear. The AoE damage makes the multi-target camps really easy, while the percentage-based damage also helps bring down the beefier single-target camps. When it comes time to gank, you'll always want to approach from an angle behind your opponent, forcing them into a wall with their escape route, so you can go ahead and send them with your E. If you're ganking a champion with a dash, hold your W to block their escape rather than using it right off the bat for the movement speed. Your ultimate serves several purposes. When ganking, you'll want to use the quick tap version of it to layer the CC onto your target. You can also
like I said, I want to conserve you guys' time. I don't think Poppy is a jungler for you guys to pick. The ganks are very easy to get away from. As I said, it's kind of a low elo thing, and maybe that's their target audience. Maybe they aren't making these videos for players that are like Plat Plus. But I mean, if you're aiming to get to that high elo level, you don't want to do things that only works in low elo. You know what I mean? Which is why I don't coach like that. I don't say, hey, you're in silver, this is what you can do to get out of silver. And then once you're in gold, you're stuck. With Poppy, just makes it seem like, okay, well, unless you're a Poppy one trick, which is fine, go ahead and play Poppy jungle. But if you're like, I want to play a new champion, and you choose Poppy, you're going to be disappointed because she's not that great. So she's very situational, if anything. One of her abilities are pretty much useless if nobody has a dash, which means she only has 3 abilities instead of 4. So, I mean, realistically speaking, there are better picks than Poppy in the jungle, so I don't agree with that one at all. So I'm just going to skip it because that's my thoughts, and what he says is not going to change my mind.
If you prefer a super fast-paced gank-heavy jungler, consider picking up Rek'Sai.
All right, Rek'Sai is not really a good champion either because she's really hard. Champions that are extremely hard are not really good. The best champs for solo queue because you don't want to invest a lot of time in them. You want to just pick them up, play back 1 or 2 games, and you're good to go. Wukong is like that. Shin, if you have bad awareness, it's not. But if you're like usually aware, it's like that. You can just pick them up and play. And then Sion is definitely you can just pick up and play. Poppy is the same way, but as I said, she's just not that great of a jungler in period. And then Rek'Sai is one of those junglers you have to put your time in. So I'm just going to skip that one too because there's other champion picks that are just far easier to just pick up and go rather than, because that's the title of this video basically is, well, I guess he said domain, so you would assume to invest time in them. But like I said, most of you guys aren't looking to find a new champ domain. Most of you guys are just looking for a champ that's strong right now that you can play and you can kind of get going. Rek'Sai is really, really hard. It's going to take you a lot of games, over like 50. So if you're not committed to that, that's not the champion for you. All right. Next, we have Skarner.
Our last jungle pick is Skarner. Already a strong pick last season, Skarner is even better now as he can build straight into triple chem tank instead of having to wait for his movement speed item and active later into his build as he had to do in season 10. His Q gives you fast clear and also serves as your main DPS when fighting other champions.
Okay, gonna skip this. Skarner is pretty decent. Only downside to Skarner is that if he ults and you buy sashes, which they usually do in high elo, even mages, like he's a useless. But he is very good. Nobody's gonna buy sash in literally 2 items. They're probably gonna buy it 3 or 3rd or 4th. So yeah, pretty simple, pretty cut and dry. Just grab somebody and drag them backwards. I definitely think that's a fine champ. Like I said, until they get sash, he's garbage after sash. So you kind of want to close out the game a little bit earlier. So the ones that I agree with, it's just Skarner. I don't agree with anything else that they put.
And can even serve as an engage when your team is lacking it from the other role.
Neeko, agree. Once again, just gonna skip it. I don't want to waste you guys too much time. Neeko's definitely fine. Her ult really is the game changer in the game. Like if you pick Neeko, your ult has to land. If you can't land that ultimate, she's not worth picking. There's a lot to say about Neeko where she can land really good snares and she can juke people and she can trick people and blah 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 blah. Main thing about Neeko is if you can land the ult. If you can't land the ult, she's useless. So make sure you land that ult. But she is very good in solo queue, like extremely good.
Almost bruiser
right.
And easily
Let's look at Rumble.
Team fight if you do land it. If you prefer scrappier, almost bruiser-like gameplay, give Rumble a go. Possibly one of the most slept on champions in the past year, he's consistently been at a low play rate, high win rate, and there's no signs of changes to come. His Q provides constant AoE damage, giving him wave clear and even beats out ranged mages in the lane. And it's even better against melee champions who risk taking harass if they think about walking up to contest his push. W
What level was that, Lex? Oh, 10.
Champions who risk taking harass if they think about walking up to contest his push. W shield lets you shrug off damage from opponents who opt to push you out over to try to match you out in your wave clear, while your movement speed will let you chase out opponents when you're ready to fight. E-slow really gives you some sticking power, but make sure you really have 2 charges available when you're looking for a more aggressive trade, as stacking the slow really makes a difference, leaving your opponents basically rooted as you roast them to death. The hardest part about piloting Rumble is to learn to cast its ultimate, but once you do, it's an insanely broken tool. You want to try to bait out the enemy team into fighting a
This is definitely low elo. You see how close Kais is? You see how close Lux was? Like, what type of crap is that? I don't know about you, but I don't know what Lux gets that dang close.
And a low play rate, high win
Look
rate,
at this. Look.
and there's no signs of change.
Why are you using Snare to clear the wave, first of all, if you're on the enemy side, right? She's on the enemy side, up, shooting stuff backwards. What? Who does that?
Just to come. His cube provides constant.
And instead of throwing the thing down to slow,
damage,
she's like running back and forth. What? And then if we go to this,
you out over to try to match you out in your
why is she trying to fight when she sees Lucian?
while your movement speed will let you chase out opponents when you're ready to fight.
And in melee range. And then we go to this one.
The hardest part about piloting Rumble is to learn to cast
Why is she trying? She has half HP. What is she doing?
ultimate, but once you
And
do,
then she tries
it's an
to fight in range.
tool. You want to try to
She's
bait
not
out
even kiting.
the enemy
She
team
should.
into fighting into
Oh
choke
my
point.
god. Okay. Well, aside from the crap you're seeing here, I do agree. Rumble is pretty nice of a champion. He does take time to get down, but I do think that he is a pretty decent champion. Are there better picks than Rumble? Of course. The reason why Rumble's win rate is high because nobody plays him, as he just said. It's a lot easier to influence the win rate and the pick rate if they're hardly picked at all, right? Ben rate included, right? So depending on how many people play it is going to determine how high or how low the win rate is, right? The things that are about like 49, 50% win rate, usually a lot of people are playing it enough, it just keeps bouncing up and down and it hits a steady medium of like 4,000 games. But if there's only like 100 games of Rumble, of course there's more than that, but we're just gonna say 100 games of Rumble and like 70% are in low elo and 30% are in high elo, well 70 outweighs the 30%, even if Rumble sucks in high elo, you know what I mean? So that's why that happens. Don't let win rate fool you guys. It's definitely based off pick rate. Unless you see the pick rate is insane, like 10, 20%, and the win rate's like 56, then that champ's getting insta nerfed. But in his case, and a lot of other champions that aren't played that much, or aren't played that often's case, is that, well, that's why. So I do think it's good. I think it's decent. As I said, there's better champions. Rumble takes time to learn. If you really don't feel like learning the champion, as I said before, then he's not the one for you. But if you're like, I want to sit down and take some time, he can do it. He's definitely a fun champion. He's definitely pretty quirky. He's cool. But you won't be blasting through elos. How if they're making it seem like in this video where he's just stopping kids. He's not that damn strong.
Your laner, get a faster recall. Our last mid laner is Annie. If you prefer the point and click CC and the ability to one-shot targets before they even have the chance to fight back, she is the one for you. Her passive stun makes it insanely easy to set up ganks for your jungler, making her an extremely good pick if you enjoy dueling with a friend that likes to play that role. But even without that, everybody knows what Annie does, so simply communicate to your jungler that they should come to mid, and you should be able to pick up kill out.
He just says that. Everybody knows what Annie does. Yes. Which means that if everybody knows what you're going to do, they're not going to fall for what you're going to do, right? Annie is very telegraphed, like Alistair, like Udyr, more or less even like Skarner of what he just said. There's a lot of simplistic telegraphed champions. They're not going to fall for everything that you do, especially when you get higher elo. So as I said before, a lot of these champs that they're saying are really just geared towards low elo. And I don't know why people make videos like that. The goal is to get you better. And when you are better, is to help you keep pushing, not get you better. You're stuck here after you got to a certain elo. Like, I don't know why people do that. You want to teach people, you want to help them to keep going, not just get out of one elo and get stuck in the next. And so with Annie, as I said, she's extremely telegraphed. She is a fine champion. Nothing's wrong with her. She's not broken. She's definitely just a champion, but she is extremely telegraphed, so players aren't going to just randomly walk into your stun over and over and over unless you are a lower elo. And when I say lower elo, I mean like silver. People in gold know, people in platinum definitely know, and if you're in diamond plus playing Annie, you're going to have a hard time unless you got flash up. So I don't really think this is a best champion to main. If you want to do something like Annie, where you can just stun him and kill him, play Malzahar. That's pretty much what she does, but he's better than her. So he's better push. He's better like CC game. So especially once he gets rallies, like the slow is immense. So I mean, it is what it is. I don't really know what classifies this as best champions, but I'm just trying to give you my input. So we're just gonna fast forward. Once again, that is my input. Nothing he says will change my mind on that. As I said, link in the description below. I just don't want to waste you guys' time if I already made up my mind before he like, you know, said his stuff. That's all. So out of those 3 champions, I honestly don't see any of them getting nerfed either. So those are the one. That's the only one where I think none of them are getting nerfed. And the only one that takes a lot of skill is definitely Rumble. Annie is just, there's other champs better than her. So Nico would be the only one that I think like that should be part of this video. All right, what we got next? Bot lane.
To no damage, but after extended trades, those numbers really start to add up. And since
I agree, Twitch is broken in solo queue, even in high low, because there's invisibility. People just don't know how to play against it. It's not really bad as anything else other than being invisible constantly. But you have to be smart. You can't just be invisible doing dumb stuff. So I agree with Twitch. Don't even have to watch that. I've seen that in action.
Next, we have Tristana. Her passive lets her scale into super high range carry in the late game, but you don't have to wait 30 minutes.
Okay, Tristana doesn't outscale a lot of AD carries. Just side note, she really only outscales when she can use her bomb, but obviously she's not going to be able to toss multiple E's out in a fight. Whereas you have stuff like Vayne, Lucian, Kai'Sa, Xayah, Jinx, like those champions will outscale the hell out of Tristana. So don't let that fool you. But she's extremely strong early game. If you can cheese early, you can get some kills early, she's good. But if you can't get any kills early, she sucks, and then she will technically fall off. She doesn't fall off, but compared to the other AD carries, she falls off. Does that make sense? So she can get here, right? And she's not really going to just stop doing damage. She will, but then the other ADC will get here, and she basically fell off, but she didn't really go anywhere. You know what I mean? So the way that you win with Tristana is just kind of always being ahead, kind of like a Draven. But you do scale harder than Draven. So if you are behind, you're not out the game yet. It's just like you want to try to fight early, or else you're just going to be kind of miserable. That's all I got to say about Tristana. Like I said, other champs can do better than she can if you are looking for that late game spike.
Our last bot lane pick isn't the standard ADC, but instead a mage in Heimerdinger. His playstyle of constant—
Don't play Heimerdinger. Like, what the fuck? Really? This man says Heimerdinger bot. Okay. Don't do that crap. That's some cheesy stuff. You're not going to beat another AD carry. If the ADC's like good, you're not going to beat an AD carry with someone who can't outscale him. Heimerdinger's bad, especially with the fact that he doesn't have turrets. If you can just destroy his turrets all the time, especially because a lot of champions played are enchanters or mages, which can long range shoot things, like I wouldn't play Heimerdinger. His stuff would just get destroyed. Only good pick out of that is Twitch. Tristana, like I said, is pretty decent. You just gotta be aggressive early. Even look at the runes. Look at the runes. He says go Hella Blades. That is not a late game rune. That's an early game rune. Yet he says she like scales extremely. Like it's no, she will fall off, especially with that. If anything, press the attack if you're looking for that more late game. So with these picks, Twitch is the only one that I would recommend in terms of that should be a part of this video of the best champs to main. So I think so far it's been one of each role, right? So far.
Lulu, with her passive—
That's what Lulu looks like up close. Good God, she needs to rework.
excels at both tit for tat auto trades and extended fights.
Yes, I agree. Lulu's broken. Next. Don't even have to tell me. Actually, I have to say it. I agree with that one tenfold.
Next, we have another enchanter with Janna.
Janna, nope, not broken. Not worth maining. I'm just kidding. you can main any champion you want, but it shouldn't be part of this video. There's other champs that do way better than her. If you're looking for, like I said, that one stop and shop. If you're like, hey, I just want to play this champion and I want to start winning games, just pick another support. Pick Nami, you know. Unless you just like Janna. Nothing's wrong with Janna. Just saying it should not be a part of this video because she's not one of the best champs to main as support. All right, next we have Alistar. Disagree. Don't play Alistar. Once again, there's a lot better champions to play that's better than him. That if you want to have that one champ to just propel you in elo the fastest without much time spent, without learning matchups and stuff like that, it's not him. They're better champions. So as far as we've seen here, just to kind of conclude, for the top lane, we have, where is it? For the top lane, we have Wukong, Shin, and Sion, right? Wukong and Shin is probably going to get nerfed, or they'll probably pick a band most of the time. Maybe in different elos it varies, so I'm not going to attest to every single elo. but definitely strong champions. And those two are going to get nerfed. Scion, probably not going to get nerfed. Definitely a decent pick, easy to learn, stuff like that. So I agree with all three of those. I just don't agree with it not being ever nerfed, picked, or banned. So that's that. As far as jungle goes, Skarner's the only one. Rek'Sai's too difficult unless you're sitting there willing to play like 50 games or more. Poppy's just not worth it unless you main Poppy. Mid lane, who are they? It's not showing me like all together. It's just showing by. Okay, so mid lane we have Annie, Rumble, and Nico. Nico, yes. Rumble, especially if you're mid lane, there's other champs that are better than him. But if you take the time to learn him, he is very good. Just remember, like, that Lux was trolling. I don't know who was playing that Lux, but it was bad. You're not going to be able to get kills like that on ranged champions. They'll stay far back from you. So good luck with that. But he is a pretty nice pick in solo queue. I like seeing Rumbles on my team. And then as far as Annie goes, better champs can do what she does. Don't really need to play her. And they're just as simple. So, and she's also just way too telegraphed. Play her if you want to. Not saying don't. But if you'd rather have another champion that you just want to kind of play for now, Annie probably wouldn't be it. If you main Annie, like I said, main Annie. Nothing's wrong with it. As far as ADCs go, Twitch, that's it. Tristana, like I said, unless you main Tristana or you're just a very aggressive player early, it's not going to be good for you. Heimerdinger, that's troll as hell, especially when a lot of champions nowadays are enchanters and mages. You may see some melee matchups like Leona, Alistar, and stuff like that. Then you could probably pick Heimerdinger because they can't destroy your turrets. But if like an all-round, like I'm going to main this champion ADC or APC all the time, like no. His turrets are going to get destroyed, especially in high elo. And the support, Lulu, Janna, Alistar. Lulu's the only one I think that is just like extremely strong for not knowing how to play. Janna's okay if you main her, like extremely main her. A lot of games. She's very easy to play, but she has a really high skill floor, or high skill ceiling. And then Alistar, you're going to have to play a lot of games with him, and he's just not worth it. He's very bad, quote unquote, for how much you can do just with picking it up. You'd have to like get really good at him. So, and I think that's pretty much it. What else? Recap, support, and then outro. Okay. So as far as clickbait goes, what do I rate this clickbait? I want to say D+. You know, not everything that this dude said was wrong. A being that it's not clickbait at all. F being it is total clickbait. This is not really that much of a clickbait. I think this is just really opinion based. It's not fact based. So I think it's just one of those videos where, as I said, these companies like to put out tons and tons and tons of videos just because it's not really about quality. It's about quantity. And what I mean by that is the information isn't quality. The videos, the people who edit the videos, shit, that's quality, right? Look at my shit. So their editing is quality. Their writing is quality. Their the speaking, like the actual like the delivery is quality. But the actual information, you could tell it's kind of like a job. It's not really there. I'm really trying to help you out. It's just like I'm just doing this to get paid. Here's what we got. You know what I mean? And as I said, it's not to BM them or nothing like that. I just want to make sure that you guys are getting the best possible information that there is to get. That's all. So like I said, D+. Not everything he said was bad or anything like that. I just think that a lot of what he said was just opinion based. There's a lot of other champions that can do a lot better than what he said. And then a couple of those champions were just really hard to play. And then, of course, there's that little small pool where it was like, these are some good champions, even though they might get nerfed or picked and banned from you. So that's my rating, D+. Thank you guys for watching. I do appreciate it. If you guys would like more of Is It Clickbait, leave that like. Make sure you comment about something. Honestly, what do you guys grade this as clickbait? Do you guys think I'm trolling? Do you guys think this is just great? Like, give me your grade. I'm gonna start asking for grades. Give me the grade that you think. Do you think it's an A? For like it's A+. It's great. There's nothing wrong with this video. Or is it F? It's terrible. I don't even know why they made it. Like they're lying to you everywhere. Let me know your guys' thoughts. As a coach of 8 years, I do a lot of analytical thinking, so it's just me. But you guys are actually the ones trying to learn from it, and I just have a different approach to teaching than they do in their videos. So let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys for watching. I do appreciate it. If you guys want more, leave those thumbs up. If you guys like my content altogether, make sure you subscribe. And also, thank you guys for approaching this like a coach. bye.